Alright, today we're going to be jumping into the Bitcoin price action and talking about the FOMC meeting that just went down. I did do like a 4-hour live stream. My voice is wrecked from doing that. I was going to go ahead and edit that up, do like a highlights reel or just kind of clip it together for today's video. I decided not to do that because it would just take too much time to go through it, and I thought it'd be better to just summarize it for you guys right now. So let's go ahead and talk about Bitcoin. Let's talk about this, sweep of the lows that we got. If you do remember my last video, I was expecting, it to roll over like this, but then get back above and head on up. I was not expecting Bitcoin to go all the way down to 56K. We are in what you would call no man's land. There is no support down here, yet we are finding it. Just like back when we had the last ETF sell the news event back over in January. Well, yeah, it took a little bit longer to get to no man's land. You can see if we do pull like a volume profile here, you can see this is our range. We went ahead, rejected from the range and went into no man's land. There was not a lot of like support really down here. I just pulled the volume level of our last range. You can see we don't actually have real support until all the way down here. You would have expected us to get down there, but no, Bitcoin found support where there wasn't, and it was able to deviate back above and hold the value area low on a weekly time frame, right? So on a weekly, you can see held that perfectly. So that is exactly what I expect to happen this time. If we go to a weekly time frame, you can see we have 4 days left. So as long as we can close above this 59K level within 4 days, right, by Sunday, all is good. And we know what happened last time you closed above on a weekly time frame, right? You went on a complete parabola. So I kind of expect the same thing. If we were to take a measured move of like, I don't know, let's just call it this like volume level, the sweep level. We rallied 78% after that. If we were to get a similar thing, this is where you get probably that 100K price target. Let's see, 78%, right at $105,000, right within the range of a swing fail for the top. So that's what I'm kind of expecting here. Let's go ahead, let's fractal something like this once again, and then that's when our actual top could come in. Not only that, but during this next rally, total 3. We're looking at this on stream. It looks identical to 2021. I am very confident on where we are in the altcoin market. You can see we are higher than we were at April 13th of this year, right? When we go to Bitcoin, April 13th, we were back up here, right? So altcoins have made higher lows throughout a time when Bitcoin has made lower lows. So you can probably guess Bitcoin dominance has been falling. Not only has it been falling, but it lost the backtest of this trend. You can see we did try to backtest it there and then nuked through, turning this into a deviation of a macro trend line, right? This goes all the way back to 2017. Deviating outside of that and getting back under tells you altcoin season is probably going to start, right? Last time we had an altcoin season, it was January 2021. We were getting a very similar thing to happen here. Deviating back under tells you this is probably going to hunt down back to this like 40%, 45% level, correlating to a massive altcoin season that is fractaling the last bull run so perfectly you can't even make it up. Look at this. We have our first low here on a daily time frame, right? Wick through, create a sweep level. We then sweep it a couple weeks later. We then go ahead, wick down, but don't break the sweep level, holding the golden pocket perfectly. If we go back to our 2021 cycle, doesn't this look the exact same? Make a first wick down a couple weeks later, nuke down, sweeping that level. We then go ahead and hold the golden pocket on our next daily closes. And then afterwards is when altcoins go on the second half of their run, where the altcoin season happens, because the second half of large caps running might be the entire run of low caps. So this is the time where your $10-20 million market cap coins can do 100x's. And then the ones that have already rallied up 10x can do another 10x. So yeah, this is the most bullish thing that I'm seeing on the chart right now, is this almost identical fractal to February 2021. Now I will say that February 2021, when looking at Bitcoin dominance, was actually down here once Bitcoin dominance had already fallen quite a bit. This January time frame, which we are fractaling more of just on the Bitcoin dominance, if we look at where altcoins were during that January time frame, it does look somewhat similar to right now as well. That would have been right here. So while the fractal does look way more similar to February of 2021, there is still that slight chance that we are just this low on the altcoin market and we still have almost the entire parabola ahead of us. So yeah, altcoins looking really, really good. This is not the time to panic. And with the altcoins out of the way, let's talk about that FOMC meeting, what we could learn from it, what the price action was like during it. And it's classic FOMC price action, right? You can see initially we had this rally up to previous volume levels. If we go over here, turn on like the daily volume levels, you can see this is previous value area low of yesterday. Went ahead, rejected off of that, swung all the way back down, getting another bounce off this low. I would say though, we haven't really swept this level yet, so that's why I got this dotted line in here. We could easily come down, sweep that. I almost expect that to happen, so don't be worried if we do come down another time. That's completely fine. Trading in here sideways for a little bit longer makes some sense to me, right? Let's make this a Bart Simpson. You vector down, you got some hair down in here, and then we go ahead and rip right back to the upside and continue the rally, going to $100,000 plus wherever Bitcoin wants to go this cycle. This is a bottoming structure for sure. Even though it's not at support, it will create a deviation. I'm almost certain of it, although nothing is a guarantee, right? If we do look at the S&P, has made a bearish structure. Just pulling some simple trend lines here. If we were to just like duplicate this, something like that. You do have this flag that we broke back into during FOMC and swung below it. Technically, this would be bearish structure. Am I worried about it? No, absolutely not. I think they're just building more shorts in this range. We're going to wick back up, reclaim it, and go for those all-time highs. Another reason I'm extremely bullish is the DXY, right? We initially had that Bitcoin dump during this rally on the dollar. Made sense for Bitcoin to correct. Now we have fully retraced this move. The dollar is looking bearish. We rejected the golden pocket while on stream there. It was all looking beautiful. I expect the dollar to now head down to these lower levels. While we come down to these lows, this will cause Bitcoin to go on a massive tear because it is decorrelated with the dollar, inversely correlated. So we want this to happen. The chart's telling me it is going to happen. So that's another reason Bitcoin is bullish here, and you should not be getting scared. Jumping back over to Bitcoin, you can see we have tons of bullish divergences lining up here. You can see the RSI is going crazy. There's a lot of strength in the markets going over to like a 1 hour time frame. You can see a 1 hour bull div coming in here. Right there, you see, lower lows, higher lows on RSI. So that's looking really good there. And not only that, if we jump over to Trading Light, we can see below us we have insane support, right? While we don't have a technical support, we have literal support, meaning Binance buy walls, 1,000 Bitcoin, 500 Bitcoin, 500 Bitcoin, 1.5 thousand Bitcoin. This is like almost $100 million Bitcoin long position, 400 Bitcoin, 1,000 Bitcoin, 750 Bitcoin, 500 Bitcoin, another 500 Bitcoin in there, all the way down. Like it just keeps going, 600 Bitcoin, 500 Bitcoin, 400 Bitcoin. There is so much support in buy walls down here. You can see these 3 walls were put in here recently, 500, 500, 500 Bitcoin. Buy walls, everyone is trying to soak up buys, more 500 Bitcoin buy walls here. I mean, this is hundreds and hundreds, if not getting close to $1 billion in just buy walls on one exchange below us. There is literal support below us. So even though we're in that low volume area, don't let anybody tell you that there's no support below us and we're going to go to 52K. I can see the support here on Binance. We got a lot of it, so I would not be too worried. Now, getting out of price action, what did Jerome Powell signal to us during the meeting? Well, as usual, very 50-50. He goes on a tangent about how inflation's still high. Job growth is looking like it's getting a little bit better, but we could initiate rate cuts to stimulate the economy. Just taking both sides of the equation, not really giving anything too clear. But when asked questions, he hinted at certain things. Like when asked if there will be 3 rate cuts this year, he signaled that there would not be. And if there is not going to be 3 rate cuts, which tells you that September is now less likely to be an actual rate cut. Because if they do what they normally do and they cut rates every month after they start cutting, well, there's only 2 rate cuts after September. Then the only time they can cut rates is November and December, right? It's not a guaranteed, but I would not be surprised if CME Group now puts the percentages in favor of not cutting rates in September, which would be extremely bullish for markets. I know retail thinks that rate cuts are bullish and that the money printer go burr means Bitcoin go up. It's not how it works though, right? When they cut rates, turn on the money printer, it is going to be to stimulate the economy because of an economic collapse. Thus, pushing rate cuts out to November allows us the chance to have this bull run continue on into election season. which is now kind of my new thesis, right? I'm thinking we'll get a top around the fall, have peak euphoria during elections, because that's what the United States would love to do. And it just makes a lot of sense for that to happen. A lot of stuff correlates to, that playing out. So yeah, I mean, everything is looking really, really bullish. I don't mind this dump at all on Bitcoin. The altcoin season looks like it is primed to go. And not only that, but Jerome Powell did signal that maybe Fed cuts will be pushed off till November now, which is great news. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and leave the video off here. Make sure to join the Discord. Link is in the description down below. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.